Hello, Manur Omer. My name is Teacher Joko from IELTS Temple, and I'd like to give you some feedback on your essay here. It has some good and bad things about it. As you saw in my other post, I hope by now, I think, that this question, wait, let's go to my snip and sketch. Here it is. Okay. This question, university students are increasingly studying abroad as part of their studies. Studying abroad as part of their studies. It's repetitive. Do the advantages of studying abroad outweigh the disadvantages? There's more to that question. After that, it will say, give reasons for your answers and use any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Okay, that's in every task too. And people don't put it in their example questions here because they think maybe, oh, it's in every one, we don't need to pay attention to it. But you do. There's important information in the question itself. So here's my markup. Yellow represents word choice, lexical resources. Does the word mean what you think it means? Is the collocation correct? Orange is task response. Do you understand the question, and are you answering the question in a well-supported way? Blue is coherence and cohesion, which includes referencing and paragraphing. And lastly, green is grammar. Okay. Not a lot of green, which is good. Okay. So what is our question? It says, students are increasingly studying abroad. Okay. Studying means a continuing activity which includes a lot of different things, but the goal is to, I don't need to explain what studying means. It's not traveling, and it's certainly not graduation. If you could just go overseas just for graduation, that'd be great. You could save a lot of money. Just go there and graduate and be done. No, that's not what the question's asking. And I know you know that, but the words you've chosen here are not accurate for what the question is asking. And students, really, going to study for graduation is popular among students. Well, who else? This next sentence was a bit iffy. Yeah, it's grammatically correct. Until you get to the end, are one of the many benefits. Okay, now you go on in your essay to explain one. The question is advantages, plural, and disadvantages of it. What is it? Is it the traveling, or is it the studying, or is it the, what is it? It is unclear. It's one of its many benefits. Put the it before the noun. I believe the gains, it's not proper usage of gain. Gain is not a synonym for advantages. Benefits. Students, usually, why do you need commas there? I don't know. Dream of pursuing a career with a renowned multinational company. Okay. Some students do. Usually, you're going on your own personal experience here. And even then, what does the career, the question is not about working. You make this mistake throughout. Multinational company. Multinational corporation is a much better collocation there. After graduation, to obtain international experience and lucrative benefits. What? Okay, to obtain, wait a minute. They dream in order to obtain international experience and lucrative benefits. Oh, they pursue a career to obtain. It's a very unclear reference here. You're just throwing words out there that you know, international experience, and there are lots of syllables in them. Studying abroad assists in fulfilling this dream, but it does not fulfill the dream. It assists in it by getting. Don't use get in an IELTS essay in this context. Get is a very vulgar word. Getting exposed, being exposed to a wider job market that expands horizons for professional prosperity. You're throwing in a lot of extra words that don't need to be in there and aren't on the topic. The topic is not about the job market. It's about the advantages of studying abroad. Okay, I mean, like, studying, not working. For instance, statistically, in 2021, you're just making this up, the multinational corporations who visited the Ivy League, you don't need to capitalize Ivy that way. I mean, it's not all caps. It's not an acronym. In the U.S., hired around 5,000 fresh graduates. As compared to what? Is that number supposed to mean anything? It doesn't prove anything. And then you brought in moreover. We actually, am I moving? I think I am. We teachers laugh at students who use moreover because you never use it right. Moreover means that the thing that comes after moreover needs to be more important than the thing that came before it. So much so that it almost puts the thing before it pointless. I mean, it's additionally and more importantly. But then you add the experience of working with such companies. Well, but this is about studying. And it adds weight to their job application globally. Well, it's sort of the same thing you were saying beforehand. It's really not much different from the point. It's sort of the same point. Therefore, traveling, once again, we're not traveling, we're studying, is an excellent way of acquiring better job opportunities within international firms. Within is not correct there. That would be if you already work in an international firm, your job opportunities would be within it. Okay. The major setback. One major setback. Really? And it asks for disadvantages, plural. Monetary, it puts over the student, puts on the students and their families. Since can be used in the same way as, but it can also be used as a time reference. Since being like you know what that means. It could be like since the time in which they were undergraduates, not as they are undergraduates. So that's a bit confusing. Don't use since in that way. They're not financially strong. That's not the right word. And then you have your first grammar error I could see so far of any significance. Since being undergraduates, they're not financially strong. The response, that's just a comma splice. There needs to be some kind of conjunction or a full stop there. The responsibility falls on the parents or elder siblings to arrange the funds required to not only pay the university fee. Yeah, you're missing a word in there, but also for the travel, boarding, and lodging expenses. Boy, that's a long sentence. I bet it's 45 words. I should point out, I did put your thing into. This is your essay in wordcounter.net, and sure enough, longest sentence, 45 words. It's that one. Shortest sentence. Your average overall is only 20, which is fine. That's really the only interesting. You have a good, unique word ratio. Abroad used 5 times, students 4 times, traveling 3 times, graduation 3 times. So, those were not used correctly. Many of my friends' families are still paying off the loans. They took, you want to put took there because you have a time reference from the banks, from banks. Banks is in general here. So we wouldn't use the relatives for sending their children. Well, of course. What else? That's what we're talking about. Abroad for graduation. If you like said earlier, graduation is a ceremony. Only they could just send them for that. Additionally, okay. Now, once again, you're trying to bring in a second disadvantage, and you should, but it's really just the same thing said in another way. It's not different enough to be a different point. More and more students prefer graduate. Well, we're talking about studying, not graduating. The beginning benefits of beginning the career with international organizations is not what the essay is about. Okay, but said your grammar's pretty good. and you know what you're supposed to do, I think. You're just not you got to pay attention to the question very carefully. It's asking for advantages. Come up with more than one, and don't just take the same one and make it slightly different and say it's a different one. It's not. Avoid moreover, and try a topic that you don't know so much about.